Face, beautiful, young, world loves her. Nobody would ever think that Angel Face could be on bullshit.
If that's the case.
If that's
If
the
that's the
case.
case,
If that's the case.
and this is where, for me, the believe women conversation has to begin. And this is what I mean. Because people often hear when I say believe women, that means believe all women at all times under all circumstances. And that is not the case. For me, it is, though, let's begin from a presumption of honesty and innocence from the person making the claim. That same benefit should be given to men. It's just that's not usually a struggle.
That's
though.
not what we do.
So if a dude calls and says certain things happen, we may be more inclined to buy it. Not the courts. I'm talking about us in our society. Courts don't listen to men, black men, very often at all.
We don't either.
Right. And so, when in this case, I would say, let's investigate. Let's find out what really happened. But if she says that she's been physically and emotionally abused, and emotional abuse can be more complicated too, because that can be, that there's relationships, and every relationship to somebody who's probably saying they're being emotionally abused, right? And I'm not to dismiss it, just say it's complicated. But if she says this motherfucker's hitting me, and I feel unsafe, I don't want to begin from a presumption that she's not telling the truth. And I think what I'm seeing online is a lot of people beginning from that place that this is spite, this is this, this is this. And again, I don't doubt that their
That's what
relationship
you
is
see.
wrong.
I see that. I see
Yeah,
that.
because
No, I see what Mark's saying.
Yeah,
There's too
our
many
algorithms-
situations. Mark, there's too many situations
Yeah.
of women crying wolf, Mark. There's too many situations of women crying wolf. And
See, alright, so first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakodash. We say the ones that person and lots of agreements on the rule teachers our person should. And we say salutations, so they are coming to the push with on truth and sincerity, day in and day out, and constantly in season on season. We say shalom. Once again, good entire video here, and this is basically touching upon the situation that is at hand right now. Before I go into the video and explain a little more, I'd like to bring on the scripture. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9, verse 8. It says, turn away thine eye from a beautiful woman, and look not upon another's beauty. For many have been deceived by the beauty of a woman, for herewith lovers kindle as a fire. Right, so going into this video here, it says from the headline, listen, from the headline, it says, the Joe Budden podcast discusses Haley Bailey allegations of abuse against DDG. Ray Daniels and Mark Lamont Hill engage in a debate about whether to automatically believe all women claims or to prioritize verifying facts before forming judgment, right? And the reason why I start with the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verse 8, because from
There
this
are a
part,
lot of that same
She just angel face, beautiful, young, world loves her. Nobody would ever think that Angel Face could be on bullshit.
and that's right, because usually when it comes to these women, especially these celebrities, because the way they look, they may be looking good. Plenty of people believe that these women, they don't be doing anything evil. And there are many situations, many cases come out where they are, right? And I believe this could be one of those situations from what's happening. And if and I know this reading one or two articles on the news, she's basically saying child father, which is the guy next to her, he I don't want to use the word due to the fact of YouTube policies, and one of my previous videos already got a strike. But the usual when it comes to these women, when they break up with the father, what it is to go to court to do and say certain things, right? And say certain things that the child father did them. Some of these things, and plenty, you heard it from many guys outside here that the women go to court and they lie, and usually the court take their side, right? And it would obviously paint a negative outlook of that man, just like what's happening here, right? Because again, these women didn't know how to utilize the system against a man, right? And they come on the internet, and obviously once it hit the internet, all majority of the people are going to side with her. So as the scripture says, turn away thine eye from a beautiful woman. So just like how Joe Budden was saying here,
If that's the case.
If that's the case.
Bobby was like, I was the lightweight, but it's like, but look at how much Bobby career suffered because they thought that he was that. So to me, it's like
And
Niggas,
again,
niggas ain't
fair use to this video, fair use to this clip here, right? Fair use.
weighing the risk when they dating Angel Face. She just Angel Face, beautiful, young, world loves her. Nobody would ever think that Angel Face could be on bullshit.
Yeah, and that is the thing. No big, and that is what the scripture says. Turn away thine eye from a beautiful woman, and look not upon another's beauty, right? And look not upon another's beauty, for many have been deceived. Many have been deceived by the beauty of a woman, and that is what is going on with majority of these people outside here. They get caught up with what she looks, not knowing behind that looks is a straight out demon, right? A straight out damn demon, a straight out witch, right? And only the man that may be dealing with them, or the people that may be around dealing with that person would know. But majority of these people outside there, they are captivated by the beauty of a woman, and they are usually deceived, right? So it say, for many have been deceived by the beauty of a woman, for herewith love is kindled as a fire, and you don't want to be deceived by the beauty of a woman, and that is what's going on with the situation here. As I said, I've been reading some of the news, some of the stuff, and reading some of the comments, and you're hearing people say, "Oh, this pretty girl, what she feels, she look innocent. Why he doing her this? Why he he trying to knock her out and all? What I'm trying to say? Why he doing these things? Now, if you keep up with the case, or to say the allegations that is put against him, so they are already deceived by the beauty of this woman, or by the looks of this woman, or by the way she may carry about herself, right? And you don't want to be like that, right? Because now with more information coming out, and with more things coming out, you could basically see that some of the stuff that she was throwing against the guy she's lying, right? She's lying. But nonetheless, this is the next part of the video I want to go into, and this going in here will be the main part.
If that's the case.
If that's the case.
And this is where, for me, the believe women conversation has to begin. And this is what I mean. Because people often hear when I say believe women, that means.
So here we see, this is where the conversation of believe women. So he is actually going into believing the woman and not bringing forth the facts and so forth. So let's play it again.
Believe all women at all times under all circumstances. And that is not the case. For me, it is, though, let's begin from a presumption of honesty and innocence from the person making the claim. That same benefit should be given to men. It's just that's not usually a struggle.
That's
though.
not what we do.
If a dude calls and says certain things happen, we may be more inclined to buy it. Not the courts. I'm talking about us in our society. Courts don't listen to black men very often at all.
We don't either.
Right. And so, when in this case,
and you could hear the co-host tell him, when he said that the courts don't believe in the black man, the co-host tell him we don't either, and he's right, because they don't, because literally the statement he's making is bullshit, right? Saying that to believe women, there are plenty of men lives destroyed today because of a lie of a woman, right?
I would say, let's investigate. Let's find out what really happened. But if she says that she's been physically and emotionally abused, and emotional abuse can be more complicated too, because that can be, that there's relationships, and every relationship to somebody who's probably saying they're being emotionally abused, right? I'm not to dismiss it, just say it's complicated. But if she says, this motherfucker's hitting me, and I feel unsafe, I don't want to begin from a presumption that she's not telling the truth. And I think what I'm seeing online is...
And those presumptuous thoughts will lead along the wrong path, because we're trying to see... We'll play back again, right here.
Emotionally abused, and emotional abuse can be more complicated too, because that can be, that there's relationships, and every relationship to somebody who's probably saying they're being emotionally abused, right? I'm not to dismiss it, just say it's complicated. But if she says, this motherfucker's hitting me, and I feel unsafe, I don't want to begin from a presumption that she's not telling the truth.
He don't want to be presumptuous with her telling, he don't want to think, well, she lying about the things she's saying, right? But there, again, there's a reason why I say is a total bullshit statement that he's making, because she could literally be lying on the guy, right? And that goes on with plenty men, right? Plenty men we have seen a bunch of cases where the woman lied against the man. Some of these men were killed, right, because of a lie of a woman. Let's, for example, there was this the Emmett Till situation with the Edomite woman that lied on him. Matter of fact, let's go a little further, a little while back. There was this guy who used to act on Steve Harvey, right? Was it Romeo? Yeah, Romeo, right? Romeo. You could look up this. Romeo, a girl lied on Romeo, and basically, I think her boyfriend and some other guys came and killed him, right? They came and killed him, and it was a total lie. She lied on what it is. She lied on a situation that never happened. And what did her boyfriend then come and do? They come and kill him. You know, Romeo from the Steve Harvey show, right? Look it up. So why today would men, and there are only two situations I call it, there are other men, there's so much of other situations that we could go by. And he's telling you that you should believe all women. No. So let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 42, verse 13, right? It says, matter of fact, let me start from verse 12. It says, behold not everybody's beauty, and sit not in the midst of woman. It says, for from garments cometh a moth, and from woman wickedness, and that is what does come from woman. So why would you believe that? No. Don't get me wrong, there are situations that where the man go way beyond, but there are a lot of innocent men that are locked up today or have been murdered by a woman, or by the lie of a woman, right? So as the scripture says, for from garments cometh a moth, and from woman wickedness. Now are you going to deny the scriptures? I don't even know if you believe in that nonetheless. But as the scripture say, for from garments cometh a moth, and from woman wickedness. From woman wickedness. Right? And when you're reading the situation, when you're taking some of the articles in the situation here, from how it look and how you're reading, plenty people are starting to expose the thing that she's doing. Right? Some people are saying she's under Jay-Z, Rock Nation, and they're actually doing the things, and you can see it by the way the case have been, there are so much of people coming out against the guy, without any proof. News pages, all these things, so you could see she's getting backed by someone heavy, right? So as I say, for from garments cometh a moth, and from woman wickedness, and that is what you would get. So why would you believe all women? This is the kind of mentality that these men have, and they want to be what they would say politically correct. So he's saying that they believe all women because he know what the attraction it would bring. Get more followers, get more money, and all this set of stuff. So let's continue.
And I think what I'm seeing online is a lot of people beginning from that place, that this is spite, this is this, this is this. And again, I don't doubt that their
That's what
relationship.
you see. I see that.
Yeah, because
No, I see what Mark's saying.
There's too many situations. Mark, there's too many situations of women crying wolf, Mark. There's too many situations of women crying wolf. And these things keep coming out. So it's hard for you to just look at somebody and say, oh, she's completely innocent. You know what I mean? When
I think statistically, sorry to step on you, there's probably more cases of domestic violence than there are.
Yes, that's back in the days.
It's not back in the days. It's current. It's right now.
No, wait, stop. Because y'all do this a lot, and then it cuts. Give me a second.
Finish it off.
I'm not talking about the domestic violence issue. I'm talking about right now on the internet, on the internet currently. There are a lot of false reports that's happening against men and men that are in position. They're finding it is happening currently. Domestic violence, of course, is still going on. Of course, since back in the days, women hide it, they're scared to leave. They end up going back home, and a lot of things, the worst things happen to them. I'm not negating that. I'm just saying right now, with social media being involved, there are a lot of cases that's coming out where people are lying, women are lying on men. I just want to make that point clear.
I would like to add to Flip's point, but I want to take the focus off of the women and put it on the attorneys of women. Like,
it's big business right now.
That's where a lot.
And what the guy just said is right. There's a lot of women coming out on the social media and making false claims, and plenty men are getting bashed. The whole career getting wiped away, and it's only usually years after you get to find out the truth when it's already too late, right? So this is the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 25 verse 13. It says, give me any plague but the plague of the heart, and any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman, right? So give me any other wickedness, but don't give me the wickedness of a woman, right? Give me something else, but don't give me the wickedness of a woman, because what you kind of think she's doing? She's literally seeking to take the child away from him, right? She made, if it's so, she made some false claims because people are putting different videos together showing that the information she brought out is not right. Right now, we know when it goes to court, the courts usually favor the woman, and they also said this at the beginning, right? In the clip, they also said that in the beginning that the courts usually favor the woman, right? But from the clips as being circled and circulated and all this other information coming out, you could see that some of the situations that she's talking about, she's lying. So as the scripture said, give me any plague but the plague of the heart, and any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman. So let's jump down a little bit, right? It said the wickedness of a woman changeth her face, and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth. Her husband shall sit among his neighbors, and when he heareth it, shall sigh bitterly. Right? It say all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. Right? So as it say, all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Is little. Imagine that. All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Because this watches, the kind of sorrows it brings a man that it brings a man that he actually want to be in his child life, and this is the kind of bitterness again from a woman. She literally want to take a child away from you and lie to tarnish your name, right? So let's just read some of the comments here quick. It say, I'm with Mark, stay neutral and wait for the facts. Flip is a hypocrite. He's quick to say, why didn't they do it to the police? And this is what you will get, right? And somebody say Mark never stays neutral. He always bash the man, and that is what he's doing there, right? Right, and as you can see, you see in some of the woman comments, the segment talks another bash a woman clip, and this is where you get from these hateful women outside here. No truth, but again, this is the reason why these women, they run to the internet, because they know it have a woman there that will back them up, no matter what bullshit they say, or no matter what lie they bring forth, right? So as it say, all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. It say, as the climbing up a sandy way is to the feet of the aged, so is the wife full of words to a quiet man. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman, and desire her not for pleasure. And again, you see how much times they stumble not at the beauty of a woman, because that's like plenty of these people here, they are deceived by the looks of a woman. They get captivated by how she look, the makeup, the way she do she hair, how she eye, the shape, a little breast, a little bam bam. They get deceived by that, not knowing that is a total witch you're going to deal with, or a total demon, a total wicked spirit inside her body, right? So it says, stumble not at the beauty of a woman, and desire her not for pleasure. A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. A wicked woman abated of courage, make it an heavy countenance and a wounded heart. And that is how this guy is feeling, because I saw some clips with him crying, right? It say, a woman that will not comfort her husband in distress, make it weak hands and feeble knees. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. And then that's a it say, of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. You understand? So that is the kind of beast you're dealing with, right? But let me just play a piece of the clip here.
And encourage certain things to
about the domestic violence issue. I'm talking about
way to get that.
Of course, it's still going on. Of course, since back in the days, women hided this.
Like, it's big business right now.
that's where a lot of the shit that the attorneys come in and say, what are you trying to get done? This is the way to get.
Right, so the piece that he's going into here now, he's talking about the attorneys, right? And there are plenty of attorneys that just taken up the case. You know, is a big celebrity, multi-millionaires. Attorneys don't really care. They just gonna pick up the case, file it, and they'll get money. And that is basically what he's talking about, right? So it's in verse 25. It say, "Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to go abroad. If she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh, and give her a bill of divorce, and let her go." Right? Continuing.
That done. The attorneys come in and encourage certain things to be said on these reports, especially if it's a man with some type of clout or power.
Hey, we just talked about, you just brought it up, Wayne kicking old girl out the house.
Yeah.
What if she went to a lawyer first before the internet?
I do you
And then
one
it
better
comes
than
out.
Mark just said the other day, yo. Some of the things that come along with Tony Busby, I look at with a different eye.
Yes.
Well, why do we look at it with a different eye? Because we know that there's attorneys out there that's playing certain games and using people, most times women, as pawns to get their shit off. That should not negate the women that this actually happens to. Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
But my only thing is that we just got to get to a place where men are losing things and collapsing before we even go through the process. And to me, it's like, and let me tell you something, bro. This really happened to me. I know these guys ain't smart. I really think I'm smart. Like, you can't. I'm ready ahead. So a girl I'm in a relationship with, very known girl, comes to my hotel room because she think I got a girl there. I don't want to let her in, and then I let her. I'm like, it's no girl in here. So she pushes the door open and she attacks me. She attacks me the whole time. We in my hotel room. As much as I'm getting attacked, Joe, the Virgo in me is saying, Ray, say something loud. So I'm saying, stop hitting me, stop throwing stuff at me, stop hitting me. What are you doing? So when the police come, because they came to the room, and she's like, he, they said all they heard was a man yelling for a woman to stop hitting him. That's why I got off. Now imagine I wasn't smart to do that.
Exactly.
And that was my first day at Epic Records, my first A&R meeting. I just didn't want to be around her. And I went to focus on my shit, and she thought I had a girl, came and attacked me, and all that happened. And guess what? I'm like, yo, this can go bad. She's hit me. I'm just like, somebody hearing. These dudes ain't young enough to understand it. You got to remember something. And it's not saying who's right, who's wrong. But let's be clear. DDG is connected to whoever he's connected to, but it's not as strong as the people that Haley is connected to.
Sure enough.
Same with Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez.
Yeah.
So let's stop acting like there are people that are like, I know how to get around this, but we got to hit first. And this is how we hit. And it's unfair. But I'm telling you, and that same chick tried to ruin my career, told everybody, he hit me, he did this. It was a lie. It was a lie. And guess what I had to do? I went and got her back in front of all of them just to show them she was lying. So now I'm at the table with her again, like we together. And they looking like, what is he doing here if he was that person? Nigga, I wasn't. She was lying. She just wanted y'all to hate me because she know I got the glow and she don't. That really be happening sometimes. Sorry.
Dog, I could talk fat.
You know, and the man was, you know, he just gave an account of a situation that nearly happened to him, and he was just smart enough, you know, to, as he said, he screamed out. So even when the police, whoever it was, heard the situation, they know it was him that was being attacked. But if he didn't do that, he would have been in the wrong. And he also mentioned at the end of it that the power that the people she's dealing with to the people he's dealing with, you know, she's dealing with Rock Nation, she's dealing with a bigger entity, right? So, you know, the power is given unto her right now. It will be very hard for him. And the thing about it is that, as I said, in some of the clips I saw, some of the news articles, he's saying that he has information that you know, he didn't do anything. And he has proof to prove everything because he's a streamer. So most likely, as he said, he's streamed his whole life, right? So you see how it goes. Nonetheless, but you can see how important it is to stay away from these women, you know. This is the book of Proverbs chapter 30 verse 20. It says, such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth and saith, I have done no wickedness here. Yeah. And that's how these women is be. You know? That's how these women is be. They do all this wickedness, do all this shit. And then they just come and say, I ain't, and not me. They take no accountability for the wickedness that they do. Right? And this is a perfect example. And here the apostles, the elders continue to say, stay away from these women. Right? Put yourself in these situations. And again, you know, there's so much of like high profile cases you could call where the woman lied and the man was locked up for a period of time, or he was killed. You know, I brought out two earlier, the guy from Steve Harvey, Romeo from Steve Harvey. You know, that was one, the Emmett Till, and there was some others after that, right? Even recently, right? So, hey, once again, I give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. We say that when some person elders agreements and rule or teachers or person is shoot, and we see salutations, so they comes to the pressure with no truth and sincerity, day in and day out, and constantly in season and season. We say, Shalom.